Good morning, everyone. Yes, I got dressed today. Uh, and I have to do it in my room, which is fine because I played a game last night and it was a tournament and I was really close to the first place because I was in third. Second was just in reach, and I knew if I could just play on right for another hour or something that the time was left, I could make it to first place. What I forgot is to plug in my tablet, and it went dead. And I can't just plug that in and then continue on. So I ended up staying in third place. No. One of those things, right? Yes. To stay on top of everything all the time, right? That's hard to do, isn't it? Well, anyway, so I don't mean to look down on you, but this is just how it's going to work out here. Anywho, let's get going straight away. Uh, uh, to do or not to do. My daughter is coming to get me a few days before Christmas. And so I'm going to be up there for almost 10 days. And I don't want to leave June, my cat, or Gus, my dog, behind. I want to take him with me. So if I'm going back and see how it works out, because if I'm going back up there for the summer, about 3 months or something, I'd like to take him with me again. So yeah, well, why? Gus is a troublemaker. Well, not really. It just takes a lot of, organization with him to make sure he doesn't kill the last few chickens we have. Okay. I don't know. It's with him, but you don't never know what mode he is in. But anyway. And June is she would just be so lonely because that's where she's up here. Though she's come downstairs with me now. She's getting braver. Yes. Which reminds me, came across this classic example I mentioned a few days ago where what God stays in the church. People go to church, oh, God's all this and that and Jesus, and then when they leave the church, don't mention that, right? It's a lot of people are that way. I mean, that's okay. Right? It's what it is. And I came across a post where they were talking about the vaccine, and it's causing some problems out there now. The side effects are becoming more visible, even though proof's not really there for it. But, when coincidences pile upon coincidences, eventually you're going to have to go and look where they're coming from, right? Yeah, okay, all right. So there's this one person in there that I recognized. Oh, yeah, you're one of them. And so she had something to say, and I said, nah. Oh, and by the way, and I brought up our belief. And, oh, she was all, well, you don't know me. But then I'm going, you would have completely reacted differently if we would have been in one of them groups blabbing, okay? And here it is in public. And she says, well, you're awfully arrogant. I said, yeah, Father taught me that. Yes. Reverend Sun Myung Moon, man, that dude had an ego that I've never seen that in anyone. As I said, one could almost call him a narcissist, which he wasn't, okay? Just because you're a strong person, you know where you're going, doesn't mean you're a narcissist, okay? Well, anyway, and he said things I have to say, well, I would not have said that, okay? Or, that I disagree with. I don't agree with everything that he said. That doesn't mean that he didn't do the job that God called him for, right? With True Mother. So anyway, so I thought, look there, just caught you. You're good at talking about people, gossiping, slandering, I don't know what, when you're in a private group, or whatever, in a group where you feel secure talking about all this. God, through parents, whatever, often in the negative. But then when you're actually called out in the open, suddenly it's a different kind of what? Yeah. Well, anyway, so that's right. See, she agrees. There. Okay. So it's the same with what we're reading here, isn't it? Yes? Oh my gosh, if actually one were to really study the Bible according to God's laws, one would come across a whole bunch of stuff where one has to say, hey, wait a minute. Right? Yes? Would people take kindly out there to all that? Really, when it comes down to it? I have a feeling a lot of people would. Who wouldn't take kindly to it? The ones that have an agenda when it comes to religion. There, I said it. Okay. If there is one thing that the death of Jesus should have taught us and the people around him, it is what? You don't keep quiet. You don't have to go out there and beat people up and shoot them or this or that, or, as I said, even talk badly about them. But you stand with your belief. That's what you do. Yes? Yeah. That's one thing we should have been taught on what happened 2,000 years ago. A good man ended up what? On the cross, being killed by his own people. Why? Because suddenly he stood all alone. All them thousands and thousands of people, plus 12 disciples, were nowhere to be found anymore. Whereas before, they were what? Hanging on every word that he spoke. Yeah. All right. Just saying. I am not going to be one of those people. I said, if we do not learn from the past, I don't know what there is. Well, anyway. Okay. Boy, I'm in a mode. I've been in this mode, okay? It's also with people that are around me. When I feel there's something not right, I go and ask. Rather than, just still to blow over. No, I go and ask. Hey, what's going on? You want to talk about it? Or when something happens, I say, how the heck did this happen? Why is that? Where is the problem here? Let's find the root of the problem. Yes? Yeah. Does it always work out? No. But oftentimes, that's better than just, what? Not say anything. Right? Well, anywho, I said, one doesn't have to start a fight. I got a good mouth. Fights for me. All right. We are in King, first book of Kings in 12. Oh, it's a new super chapter, 3. The political and religious schism. Oh, well, looky there, you guys. It all started so long ago. God's being expelled. And it sounds like now we're getting into the part in the Kings where God's being expelled, right? Yes? From certain realms and is being put into which one? The religious one. What was I just talking about beforehand? Where does God belong? For most people? Where is he not wanted? For most people? And why is that? All right. The assembly at Shechem. I can't find my good glasses, so I have to use these, which I can still read it. Rehoboam, so that's the new king now, then went to Shechem, all Israel having come to Shechem to proclaim him king. As soon as Jeroboam, son of Nebat, heard the news, he was still in Egypt, where he had taken refuge from King Solomon. He returned from Egypt. They now sent for him, and Jeroboam and the whole assembly of Israel came, and they spoke as follows to Rehoboam. Your father laid a cruel yoke on us. If you will lighten your father's cruel slavery and heavy yoke which he imposed on us, we are willing to, Here it comes out now. Serve you. What did I say? How were the people actually faring? Now Solomon said, look how his own people viewed him. Oh, okay then. He said to them, go away for 3 days and then come back to me. And the people went away. King Rehoboam then consulted the elders who had been attendants on his father Solomon while he was alive and said, how do you advise me to answer this people? Okay, he went for counsel, but he went to counsel to whom? So Solomon did not teach his son to consult God. Unless all these elders were what? Levites. Aha! We don't know. They replied, if you become the servant of these people today and submit to them and give them a fair reply, then they will remain your servants forever. But he rejected the advice given him by the elders and consulted the young men in attendance on him, who had grown up with him. He said, how do you advise us to answer these people who have been saying, lighten the yoke which your father imposed on us? The young man who had grown up with him replied, this is the way to answer these people who have been saying your father made our yoke heavy. You must lighten it for us. This is the right thing to say to them. My little finger is thicker than my father's loins. Well, although my father laid a heavy yoke on you, I shall make it heavier still. My father controlled you with the whip, but I shall apply a spiked lash. Okay, that tells me that Rehoboam, who actually got very good advice from the elders, I think, right? Yes, didn't like what they had to say. Why did he not like what they had to say? Doesn't that kind of make sense? Who did he go afterwards for counsel? Ah, that's a spoiled brat right there. And that's what the next king would be. Huh? Oh my gosh. Oh dear me. It's what did God say? You don't want my counsel. You don't want my guidance. You want a king. It's going to turn into a big old mess. Good luck with that. And again, the people of Israel, what did they want? A king. What did they get? Hardship. They have to blame themselves for that as well, right? Well, this is so many hundreds of years later. Doesn't anybody remember their history there then? Just asking. Nobody stuck with what God actually initiated with Moses and Aaron and all that? It's interesting. I don't know. I have no idea. On the third day, Jeroboam and the people came to Rehoboam in obedience to the king's instruction. Oh, even Jeroboam went and would have probably said, okay, but come back to me in 3 days' time. And the king gave the people a harsh answer, rejecting the advice given by him by the elders, and speaking to them as the young man had recommended. My father made your yoke heavy, I shall make it heavier still. My father controlled you with the whip, but I shall apply a spiked lash. Thus the king refused to listen to the people, and this was brought about by Yahweh to fulfill the promise which he had made through Ahijah of Shiloh to Jeroboam, son of Nebat. God didn't have anything to do with that. See, again, this is just, come on now. This is all, if there were no God anywhere around, it still would have been going that way, right? Yes? Oh, but it's the Bible, so it had to be infused in there. It's just the people. Scheming and this and that and power plays and my gosh. When all Israel saw that the king refused to listen to them, the people answered the king thus: what share have we in David? No heritage in the son of Jesse. Away to your tents, Israel. Now look after your own house, David. Oh, There you go. What share have we in David? You see? Right there. This started a long time ago. So Israel went home again. Rehoboam, however, reigned over those Israelites who lived in the towns of Judah. When King Rehoboam sent Adoram, who was in charge of forced labor, all Israel stoned him to death, while King Rehoboam managed to mount his chariot and escape to Jerusalem. And Israel has remained in rebellion against the house of David from that day to this. Wow. Is it still like that? I wonder. I don't know. I must talk to an Israelite again. The political schism. When all Israel heard that Jeroboam had returned, they summoned him to the assembly and made him king of all Israel. No one remained loyal to the house of David, except the tribe of Judah. When Rehoboam reached Jerusalem, he mustered the whole house of Judah and the tribe of Benjamin. Oh, so there was two. Someone's thinking of me. I want to sneeze. 180,000 picked warriors to fight the house of Israel and win back the kingdom for Rehoboam, son of Solomon. There they go. They're going to start fighting each other again. But the word of Yahweh came to Shemaiah, man of God. Say this to Rehoboam, son of Solomon, king of Judah, to the whole house of Judah, to Benjamin, and to the rest of the people. Yahweh says this: do not go and make war on your brothers, the Israelites. Let everyone go home, for this is my doing. They obeyed the command of Yahweh and turned back in accordance with his word. Jeroboam fortified Shechem in the mountain country of Ephraim and made that his residence. Then, leaving there, he fortified Penuel. I don't know what that means. I would say something else happened there. How would they? They're not listening to God's guidance and advice at all. Okay, and here suddenly everybody goes, "Oh yeah, yeah, let's not." Really? I tell you what, my thinking is that the common people, were in such bad shape after Solomon's reign that they couldn't fight, and that because Rehoboam is what? Listens to the young men there, right? And they go, hey, if you fight this and that, what are we going to eat? All them riches and stuff is going to go into the army. Why would you do that? Then how are we going to live? I bet you that had something to do with it, right? Yes? There just weren't enough resources around anymore, this or that. It was all what? Yeah. Wasted. Solomon wasted so much, used up the people's energy and strength. And what was the closest tribe there to do that with? Judah. Right? So my feeling is that even though he tried to muster all them, I don't think he did. I don't believe that. They couldn't. There wasn't anything to fight with. Right? And the concern, hey, how are we going to live in this rich lifestyle if it's all going to have to suddenly be put into, right? Yes? The army and all that. Because it sounds like Solomon didn't have an army ready. Probably for the same reasons. All right, just saying. The religious schism. Jeroboam thought to himself, as things are, the kingdom will revert to the house of David. If this people continues to go up to the temple of Yahweh in Jerusalem to offer sacrifices, the people's heart will turn back again to their lord, Rehoboam, king of Judah, and they will put me to death. Oh my God, what else went on there now? If he's worried about that, then I must assume that he didn't change anything either, right? He didn't turn things around for the people. Why else would he worry about that? So the king thought this over and then made 2 golden calves. He said to the people, you have been going up to Jerusalem long enough. Here is your God, Israel, who brought you out of Egypt. He set one up at Bethel, and the people went in procession in front of the other one all the way to Dan. In Israel, this gave rise to sin, for the people went to Bethel to worship the one, and all the way to Dan to worship the other. Golden calves. That sounds familiar. He set up shrines on the high places and appointed priests from ordinary families who were out of Levitical descent. Okay. Jeroboam also instituted a feast in the 8th month on the 15th of the month, like the feast kept in Judah, when he offered sacrifices on the altar. This he did at Bethel, offering sacrifices to the calves which he had made, and at Bethel installing the priests of the high places which he had set up. On the 15th of the 8th month, the month which he had chosen deliberately, he offered sacrifices on the altar which he had made at Bethel. He instituted a feast for the Israelites, and himself went up to the altar to burn the sacrifice. All right, that's the end of 12. It seems like God can't win. So here is, if we want to believe Ahijah, who had a vision, who had some kind of contact with God, then reached this Jeroboam. Where's the rest of the guidance? Obviously, this was the wrong thing to do. Right? And why was he so worried? How does one win as a leader of the people? How do you win people's hearts? By working together with them to start with. You're not any better than anybody else. You shouldn't have more than anyone else. And if you do, you go and look for someone who needs the extra that you have. Yes? All right. Everybody wants to be equal out there. Right? Well, then, let's work on that. Well, anywho, so here he goes and makes 2 golden calves. Well, he doesn't know the story about the golden calf way back with the 2 stone tablets and all that. So Jeroboam, neither Rehoboam or Jeroboam know the people's history with God. Nobody seems to know anything anymore. Everything's just being pulled so out of context. Yes? It's the truth, isn't it? Yeah. Well, anyway, that's what I have to share today. And the not sharing, right? What did I start out with? The not sharing about God's laws, how you obey God, how you live a happy life, a righteous life with everyone else together, right? Has to be out there, not just in a church or when you get together in your little community, right? And are all happy and content. Then you go out into the world. Do you take that with you? Yes? To teach people. Yes? When I heard for the first time that, well, it's not thou shalt not kill, it's thou shalt not murder, right? I thought, oh, well, that's convenient then, right? Then, okay, who decides what's a killing? What's just a necessary killing of a human being, and what's murder? Who gets to decide that? According to whose agenda again? Yes? Right there. What did Jeroboam do? Even though, right? It's like, well, okay, you seem like someone that I'm going to put in place. I don't know. It doesn't say what qualified Jeroboam to do so. Okay. Though, there's one thing, the Levitical priests that have come back, and they should have told him immediately, that's a bad idea. That calf is a bad idea. So they also are completely off track. Right? And Jeroboam was what? He wasn't concerned for the welfare of the people. And he did that. He was concerned about his own life. Hey, if they go back there and then they're going to kill me. Yes. So he did what? Selfish reasons. Mm-hmm. Well, anyway, so there it is. But we are not allowed to just change things because we want to. That then it fits our agenda, and then go and teach them. That's not okay. If there's one thing in the Old Testament that is absolute true, and I believe in, oh, because it's in there, or because so you do believe that about that God said that or gave that or this or that, is the Ten Commandments. And the reason I believe that they are from God, that those are God's laws, is because every one of them makes 100% sense. If we want to live together properly as mankind, care for each other, care for our surroundings. If you don't know, then just go and read the Ten Commandments again. They're not complicated or anything. I don't think that the translations are wrong either. Thou shalt not kill means thou shalt not kill. It's not thou shalt not murder. Done. Okay? Yeah. So, there it is. Got to start. Right? I think we all have to just start back down at the bottom. Yes? No matter what you believe out there, this and that, start back down at the bottom. Your guidance out there should be God. You should be listening to God. If you feel that I don't have that kind of connection, right, then go find someone that has that connection, a true connection. Yes? And that follows the guidance of God 100% and is able to give 100%, not 90, not 99, 100%. That's where we have to start again, people. Mm-hmm. Yep, at the bottom. And we're not going to follow no king. We're not going to follow no this or that. Yes, we're going to follow God. God's guidance. God's guidance, to begin with, the Ten Commandments. Study up on that. Yes. Figure out what that means in your life. And then, if there are some discrepancies, then you write that. Your ancestors will love you for it. Your descendants will love you even more for it. Done. Yes? Yeah. God's love and blessings always. May He protect you, and I will talk to y'all another time.